So glad we were recording that dead air. We'll have some more dead air to record.
That's what people like in podcasts.
Bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
Welcome to Everyone Racers, a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture. It doesn't matter what kind of Lemon-Champ or Lucky Track Dog league you run, SCCA or NASA, we won't discriminate, as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussions, tips, tricks, as well as news and notes from the world of amateur endurance racing. And whether it's on the spot, hella sweet, or we're lucky enough and Chrissy gives us just the tip, we're sure you'll giggle a little and learn even less. Everyone report to the paddock. This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
And I'm mental.
Oh, good.
And we are Everyone Racers. Thanks for joining us for a Rocket V8 episode of our podcast. It's episode 324. The Oldsmobile V8, also referred to as the Rocket, is a series of engines that was produced by Oldsmobile from 1949 until 1990. The Rocket, along with the 1949 Cadillac V8, were the first post-war overhead valve cross-flow cylinder-head V8 engines produced by General Motors. And the 324 cubic inch version was produced from 1954 till 1956. So unless you're driving your 50s olds, get out your E1R bingo card. Makes almost as much power.
Parts are more readily available, but
maybe
yeah.
so. We've committed to redoing our bingo card, so even if you'll have a motivation to play again.
Yes, and you, listener, what do you think should be on that bingo card that isn't?
That's even better. Or whatever they think should be on there. I love it.
Yes,
absolutely. So,
great.
What you working on, folks? Like mental. What
mental?
Are you working
what
on?
is this? What is even happening?
Oh, okay. So, well, those watching on YouTube will notice that the beard is gone because Vicky and I donned our Heat Miser and Snow Miser costume for an annual Las Vegas tradition called the Santa Rampage, where everyone dresses up in a Christmas or holiday themed costume in several bars along Fremont Street. So that was a great time. And
I don't think I saw any pictures. Do you have any pictures? You didn't post anything.
Actually, no. Yeah, no, I didn't. Vicky has lots of pictures. We just haven't. Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, we should probably put those up.
Well, you don't have to. I was like, what is this? Because I didn't know what it was. But usually when you guys go somewhere fun, you usually post a picture or something.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Here.
Too busy having fun to document it. So
great.
There's that. And then I have started down the path of some Miata upgrades that I wanted to do that require to install properly the disassembling of the interior. And I've just been deliberately taking my time putting it back together because I will not have my new car creaky and rattly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at you trying to do things properly. I don't
this
have
is so weird. Who are you and what did you do with mental?
Yes. And speaking of, things that should be mental and aren't, I see 3 words in a row that normally apply to me. And they don't. This is fascinating.
Go ahead.
Flying a plane? No.
No.
Maybe.
No, I kept working on the Boxster. I've got it's in many pieces right now. It's all apart. The transmission point and the new hoses and stuff back in, that was all good. And so the front started to go back together nicely. I had to repair the windshield wiper tray, the plastic thing had a crack in it. So while it was off, I said, well, I'm going to fix that. So fiberglass stuff comes out, it gets did all that. I've fixed Chrissy's sister's janky Mazda. We call it the little Mazda that could, because the damn thing just won't die, amazingly. And got that over for inspection and flew a plane around a bunch.
A lot.
Solo.
You were gone for a long time.
Yeah. Well, that's the point. Which was good. Did some takeoffs, did some landings, did some pattern work, did some S turns and turns around a point and steep turns and all those things. And
you lived
Sasha
to tell
came
about
up, picked me up. Yep.
Live to tell about it.
Yep. All is well. Next time I'll do better and I'll try to draw a dick on the flight path.
Yes, I posted up a bunch of pictures because I was watching on an app and I could see where he was. So I was taking pictures of all the things that he was doing, and never even occurred to me that he should have been making something in the sky. So one of our creepy friends, I'm not surprised.
Yep.
So good.
Yeah, I was going to say you. Yes, you.
Oh,
you
so
have-
Chris left me, and I was supposed to be doing an amazing cookie bake off and baking every piece of every kind of cookie that ever existed ever, with my mother, and then she got COVID last week. So,
Aw.
and then she had to watch the boys before she realized that she had COVID. So she hopefully didn't infect them. I don't think that they sound sick, but that doesn't mean that that couldn't get passed on to me. So the idea of even going to hang out with my mom and do cookies was off. She's getting better, but had a couple of days where she was just out for the count, just as COVID does. And then probably not a great idea to go see the boys either. So I hung out by myself. I did a lot of housework. I checked off a bunch of things on my to-do list. Yeah, super productive. So that was fine. It was not great to be at home, but whatever, got a lot done.
I feel like we should all send her cookies so she feels better.
Sure. Yes, she doesn't usually eat a whole lot of cookies because she makes them for other people. So yeah, so I was doing some work and doing some library stuff and all that good stuff. So fine, productive weekend, just no car stuff, just picking up stuff around here.
It
Great.
is the season for not so much the car stuff. Yes.
Unless you have a car that's in a million pieces in your garage.
Yeah, I'm really trying to get the Boxer back together by the end of the year. That would be nice. Because then Chrissy can have her garage spot back, which would be nice.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other things to take us away in other directions during this time of year. So, yes, it'd be good, but not surprised. Okay, let's move on. No.
Stephen Cole Smith in Haggerty tells us the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has issued a 99-page document. The purpose, according to the article, is an, quote, advanced notice of proposed rulemaking. And the topic is, quote, advanced impaired driving prevention technology. What that means in English is the NSCA and NHTSA wants for new cars to have advanced drunk driving, impaired driving prevention technology. And their plan is to mandate the creation of the tech, or at least they're considering it. And that's why they're saying, hey, we're thinking about this. The main focus is on alcohol, but the organization currently believes the features need to be passive, which means not every car is going to have a blowhole in it.
Good idea.
Gross
Yes.
and stupid, right?
Good idea.
NHTSA adds the agency is, quote, actively involved in cutting edge research to help develop technology to quickly, accurately, and passively detect a driver's BAC. Now, while that currently eliminates the Ultima breathalyzer starters, they admit that if they have a passive way of doing so, they would like to mandate it. In the last 30 pages of a series of questions regarding the likelihood of defeating these, as well as false positives. Questions are asked to the industry as a whole, more as this develops. But I'm glad at least they're thinking about the things like the false positives and whatnot.
Yeah. And what happens
what if I
when
really need to get somewhere and start and it says I'm drunk, like I've just woke up, I'm tired. What do you
right?
want?
Or like mouthwash or like some like random things that you're like, oh, or I had a drink a while ago and you're still figuring it out. Like yeah. And then everybody's just gonna be super pissed at it. So I think that's gonna be a while.
As opposed to the people who just literally don't figure out how to defeat it within the first hour of ownership and then have that all over YouTube. And
there's motivation. I feel like you probably figure out a way to skirt the system.
People struggling with addiction will find a way around those things.
Usually.
Well, and I would argue gearheads struggling with their cars that just, I remember the passive seatbelt things where the car wouldn't start and everyone immediately, oh no, just get under there and, cut the wires and then tie them together. It's no problem. It solves, yeah.
Yeah. And then it's just a lot of wasted time of like, this is the best thing ever. And then when everybody just starts go bypass them, then you're just like, oh, that was a lot of wasted time. Okay. In other dystopian future news, James Gilboy tells us clunky AI voiced drive-thrus are already here and getting orders wrong. That's over at the Drive. As James says, if you thought prodding away a cheap tablet was the worst at a restaurant ordering experience you could get, you'd be wrong. The next time you order in a drive-thru, you may not interact with a real person, but I don't know what that word is.
I'm sorry, hold on.
AI chatbot with a celebrity voice. And it's even more likely to mess up your order when than the underpaid teen that it replaced. In the Midwest, Ohio-based Lee Famous Recipe Chicken is using AI voiced by former NFL fullback Keith Bystarter, who
was
is
an Eagle, by the way.
Oh, but he's also an Ohio State grad. Okay.
Hmm.
Recognize that name. Industry website The Takeout also has the results of a previous attempt by Wendy's to do the same. As James points out, customers aren't robots and they don't communicate like them. They'll repeat themselves, change their minds, want orders customized, or simply communicate poorly, as anyone has worked at a fast food can attest.
As anyone
Which
who's
means
worked in retail or with the public at all.
or
can attest.
talks to anybody.
Yeah.
Yes. Which means the bots can also misinterpret what they hear. The Wendy's version managed to cut customer time by 22 seconds, but with the accuracy of 86%, which translates 1 out of every 7 orders being wrong. While the AI is sold as addressing a staffing shortfall, the wrong order will take a human fix, which is making it all just even worse.
And I just had this idea. What if the NASA and this AI thing got together? And if you can't get your order right at 2:00 in the morning within 3 tries at Taco Bell, you're probably under the influence. Or if you're at Taco Bell 3 in the morning, you're probably under the influence. So
Yeah, really.
there's some crossover in that research.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, and it is, again, no more dang old Cameros. Caleb Jacobs, also over the drive, helped bid a fond farewell to the pony car. December 14th, the final 6th generation rolled down the assembly line. Other sources say it was a manual LT1. A GM representative did reach out to an inquiry by the drive saying, quote, Camaro is a passion product. It has developed a fan base across the world and has brought people into the Chevrolet dealership for generations. The 6th generation specifically represented athleticism and composure, exuding confidence on the road and dominance on the track. And they had me right up until that last line. But that's most likely a reflection of that passionate ownership base they reference rather than the car itself. Camaro's sales for this final quarter did jump 110% because everyone was trying to get that last edition Camaro. But in the end, the dang old Camaro was just outsold by the Mustang and the Challenger. A link to that is in our show notes.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, say you wanted a Chevy that was going to dominate on track. Where could you find such a Chevy? Perhaps
know.
at racingjunk.com.
Oh,
And
yeah.
here is a Chevy to dominate. This is a 2001 Chevy Lumina. And I'll read directly from the ad. Car has an automatic transmission. We bought this car 2 years ago and made many upgrades to pass tech and race in the 24 hours of lemons. This car has raced 2 years at MSR Houston. We installed a roll cage, fire suppression system, race seat, 6-point harness, detachable steering wheel, functioning kill switch, transmission temp, water pump, gauge, transmission cooler, front and rear shocks, battery mount toe straps, and probably a few other things I'm forgetting. We were fairly new to this and we started 2 years ago and we're looking for a new product, which is why we're trying to sell the car. Car runs well and doesn't overheat at all after we install the transmission cooler. However, there is some computer issue that we don't know to the best of our knowledge that won't allow the car to shift very well after a few hours. This car's in Houston, Texas. It's $2,000. It looks like they just stole it from their grandmother's house and put a cage in it.
Yeah. It's
It was
ripe for
great.
a theme. It's white with
I mean,
just a red
white Chevy
27.
Lumina.
Right?
It's great.
Yeah.
And
It's
for $2,000,
ready for you.
they spent more on the safety gear than $2,000. So you're getting a free car basically and discounts on the safety.
Yeah,
If
you want that guaranteed Class C, man. Chevy Lumina.
Right, every single time.
And I did look up that car.
I like this. This is funny.
It
go ahead.
last year it finished 96th at MSR and it made 288 laps, which is not even close to the worst car out there.
No.
Well, great.
On-track domination.
Now, the car's number 27, but you take that code POD23. You put it in that checkout box when you get that Racing Junk Pro membership. You get all those ads, you get all the pictures, all the cool stuff we talked about. Just do it, please.
Sure. You never know what you'll find.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
All right. There are no races. None and none and none because it's off season time.
It's-
Oh, actually,
right.
I think there's one of them has something left, right? Somebody's New Year's.
Next, yeah,
Champ is New
the
Year's.
December 31st at
Mhm.
Sebring. So I
Other than
believe our friends Fat Crack Racing will be there. I've heard rumors of Donnie's going to try and be there. So yeah, we'll probably know some people doing that race.
Well, good for them.
Yes. You know, good for other people too. People who give us feedback.
Okay. All right. Well, Ted emailed us a pic of him wearing the Flex LED headlamp and said, confirm this headlamp is excellent. It's so much less glary than other styles.
And that was the one we recommended on our gift giving episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Josh K also texted to mention that our stereotypes episode, we totally forgot squatted trucks because that's stupid looking and dangerous. I instantly just, yeah, like I thought Bro Dozer was like as far down as I could go, but squatted trucks, especially if like the lighted wheels or any of that kind of stuff. Nope. That's you're just, I'll pay for your vasectomy. I will.
They're towing an invisible trailer. Yep.
The wrong way, and it's not loaded correctly. Yes.
Yes.
So we met a potential new fan, Jay, the Amazon driver. He dropped off some stuff here, and he was quite taken by the Civic and much less so the Porsche. The Civic is where it was at. But he thought that was great. He was a very nice
Oh.
guy. We had a nice chat as he was doing his
so
rounds.
excited.
And
We gave him some stickers, and
Yep.
yeah, he was like looking in the back trunk because the hatch was open, and he was like, "Oh, there's a gauge," and he was like, "This is so cool! I want to get started." And yeah, so he was very animated, and hopefully he's a listener. So hey, Jay, if you're a listener,
Welcome, Jay.
and he might have just been like, "Oh, those weird people." No, I think he was pretty.
That's not even close to the weirdest stuff that's been in your driveway. I mean,
No.
where was he during
Yeah.
Mr. Pfister?
Oh, well.
Not here.
Yeah.
All right. On the YouTubes, Michael K says in many states, the under 150cc scooters are known as drunker cycles for the reason Mental alluded to, a lifetime plate, no license, and or insurance required.
I'm gonna be stealing that
drunker
drunker cycle.
cycle.
Fantastic.
Carlton said, small Porsche with bucket seats, huh? Welcome to the gang. How was it getting in and out of tight parking spaces? I don't know. We were in the Midwest. It seemed okay. They don't have tight parking spaces in the Midwest. Everything's
And we also were
luxury for us.
totally fine with parking away from everybody else. So
Yep.
not a big deal.
Tyler said, funny you should mention Honda Accords like that. I drove a friend's 2004 Accord for a few hours last weekend, and it was by far the best experience I've ever had driving a car on the highway. It was quiet. The ride was excellent, and it felt planted and stable to a sublime degree, far surpassing anything I've ever owned. I could totally understand why someone would feel that way about it. Should I ever have a job with a regular commute, I'll be wanting one myself.
Now, Tyler, I think this says more about you than the Honda Accord, that the finest car you've ever driven on the highway is a 19-year-old midsize sedan.
And depending on
reasonably
where
priced.
you're coming from, that might be difficult to find.
Yeah. Well, he's in Wisconsin. That's tough.
Yes,
They're
true.
well
East
overdone by
Coast,
now.
you wouldn't be able to find one of those. And if you do, you're
No.
like, wow. Yeah.
But they are all over the West Coast.
Oh,
Okay.
Chrissy, your friend Allison has one. She has an 03. That thing's still kicking.
Yes. Surprisingly, doesn't have any half of the paint that it used to have on it, because the clear coat has come off and it is in lovely gradient.
Yep.
But she does
250,000 miles.
right, she
Just
still
keeps
likes it.
trucking. Yep.
Okay. Tomei said, saw a guy with the newer tan Tacoma with a license plate BRNTRD. Well done, sir. Also, you guys are wrong about angry Jeeps. That's a dealer installed item when the clutch or transfer case goes bad in less than 30,000 miles.
I'll buy that one.
But wrap it up with something we missed this year on the GRM forum. Hungry Bill was at it again, still delivering Ukraine refugee assistance. Check out the link in our notes. He
That's
just
so
fills up his
awesome.
4Runner, brings stuff over to Dnipro, and He's got a contact there that helps him with it, and they
And
give
the whole
nice.
GRM community had that Forerunner, like literally he had to take the back of it off to fill it all up and put it back on because there was no other way to get all the stuff that everyone donated into it.
Yeah,
What a
it's been
great
he's made a
project.
bunch of trips now too.
Mhm.
Yep, doing
Amazing.
good things out there.
Yes. You know who else does good things?
You are not wrong.
Who is that?
So that would be
You gotta actually
Chrissy's
say.
mom. Chrissy's mom always does good things. We're so sorry you got the COVID. We're glad you're on the mend. Hope by the time you hear this that you have fully recovered. But if not, we'll all send you cookies. They won't be any good, but yeah, Amazon like drop ship cookies to you.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Ah, so yeah, I'm sorry I threw all that data at the top of it.
Great. This is fun.
Okay,
But
roll
go
into
ahead.
this.
Yeah. So, well, this is the favorite show. This is our favorite stuff. If this was network television, this would be like the recap or the memory show where they only are on set for like 10 minutes and they just edit everything into old episodes. We're not going to do that because we're not going to edit any of the old episodes, but we're talking about our favorite shows this year and also yours, our most popular video this year, 2023. Aside from, oddly enough, the new intro that we've been playing, which in 4 days got 1,200 views. I don't know how that happened.
What?
Yes,
Oh,
it went to YouTube Shorts, and apparently everyone saw our new "Bring Me Everyone" intro. But
Okay.
it was the Glacier Bay car launch this summer in Alaska. That's where everyone wanted to watch cars just go flying off a cliff. Which, yeah, I can totally see that. How
Yeah,
that
mostly
would-
because the K. Everyone was so excited to watch the K.
Yeah. True. Everyone wanted to see the gay die.
Oh my.
Oh, don't die yourself
Oh
there,
no,
mental. That's
no,
for
don't
sure.
die.
Yeah. All right. But so when we think about this one, what would you guys say has been our most E1R-ish topic that we've had for one of our shows?
Oh, we're going through the rest
Like the
of the
most
questions
on
here.
brand.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with pre and post shows. Sorry, race pre and post race shows. Missed a word in here that's very important. I think the pre-shows get us hyped and we're usually excited and we have a plan and we know it's going to go on. And then the post-show is always a good story because we always have a great, when we go to a race, we always have a great story. So I think it's yeah, I think they're most fun.
How about
I
you?
agree with
Oh,
I agree
yeah.
with Chrissy on that one. I also like when occasionally we go deep on a tech heavy advisory thing. Like let's learn something, like learning about brake pads. It's like the one where we learned at SEMA, something like that. I
That's a
like
good
those.
one. Yeah. And I actually like it when we do a hangover show where one of us was judging and another one was racing. I feel like that gives us a lot more kind of behind the scenes, like this summer when we were all at HPR doing that one, or even Houston. Because oh yeah, I remember those guys came through and they were kind of clueless, but darn, they were fun. And oh yeah, on track they were awful. Those are my favorites. And then, but going with that, our most on brand, if you talked about the Hangover and the hype shows, our most popular track walk was Thompson on the YouTube on this one. And our post race was the one we just did about uh, the Halloween Hooptiefest.
Oh, who knew?
Excellent.
Well,
Cool.
they're both good topics and yeah, we have a good time with them.
Yes. So
Absolutely. All right, what's next?
if anybody wanted to take this one,
All right. What topic did we haven't really done yet or didn't get right? Well, I'm not sure that I think we're running out of ideas. 300 and
24
24
24 later.
episodes in.
Yeah.
So it's not a lot of things we haven't done that I know to say we haven't done them. I feel like it's been a long time since we've done any of our racing technique stuff, and I think revisiting that might be nice because we're all better than we used to be a couple years ago when we did it. And maybe we'll have a different perspective and different things to say about it.
I totally agree. I think we should go back to whatever we did 300 episodes ago because chances are we weren't very good then. That was kind of, we were a little not as good at podcasting. I mean, you could say this isn't a great podcast, but we didn't really know what we were doing then. I'm pretty sure 24 episodes or 300 episodes ago, episode 24, I think Mental was still in the
Georgia.
no, I don't care in the
Oh.
country. I meant underwater or
Oh, yes.
Tube of
yeah,
Mockery.
you're
I think you solved that
oh,
before
Tube
24.
of
but-
Was it?
Mockery.
Yeah, I
I
think it
don't
might
think
have
so.
actually. I think 24 might have been where we finally
The
literally
Tube
you
of
went, have you
Mockery.
clicked on this?
We
I'm
haven't
actually
used.
now trying to frantically, don't scroll back and,
Oh, don't
you'll
bother.
find out what our episode 24 was. Yeah.
That's okay. I was thinking 300 episodes ago, we weren't great at podcasting. I'm pretty sure I was still drinking like just through the whole episode. And yeah, I hope we're better now. And we probably know more stuff along the same thing what Chris is talking about. What is yours mean, Mental?
It's a more fatalistic view of what Chris said. We've done stuff that we wanted to learn and wanted to know about. I don't know if I can completely plumb the depths of how much I don't know about this sport. Maybe if we actually learn to really, after the fact, analyze data, but that would require, us building a new skill set. And that is not something that's going to happen overnight.
And you also have to want to learn, which you have the want to learn. And Chris and I just go along with it. So what's coming, what's happening these days?
Oh, what is Mental making us do now? Damn it.
I want to learn things. It's other things that I've been focusing my attention on learning, and I can only take so much at a time.
Yeah, it's a compelling argument. Yes, we can all only take so much at a time.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
All right.
We did this one in 22. And yeah. Okay, so you guys have answers in there. So yeah, Chris,
Yeah, go for it.
Whoever
What's the
wants to
question?
read this one. Okay, so it's what's the best part of the show that isn't the main topic and why? And that's just, the listener feedback. We don't really do race results unless we were there, and that's actually a result of the episode, just the tip, guess the rental car, what you working on.
I like the show descriptions that we write after each show that are the start. It makes me have to think about it. It makes me laugh. I usually enjoy those.
Or I absolutely, if somebody, this is how the sausage is made. If somebody says something funny, I write it in the bottom before we forget about it because sometimes you just forget. Go ahead.
Okay, no, go finish, please. Yes.
I like guess the rental. That's always a fun one, especially if you don't tell anybody. And then I'm feeling like this is just the tip hasn't been very safety related. I haven't written it. I used to be very prepared and it was like my thing, and I have not done that. So maybe as my goal for next year means that I should probably do a little bit better with it.
Is it because you're so into safety at work? What's the highly poisonous substance that hasn't been a theme yet, but totally should be a theme when you judge?
Hexavallium chromium.
Yeah. Are you just safetied out by the time, it comes to the show?
I mean, I write a safety topic every week, so I have things to talk about. I deal with safety all day, every day. So, but I'm not safetied out. I just don't, I guess, think that some of the stuff it's relevant because I think we talked about slips, trips, and falls. I have some, we're talking about like identifying hazards and like what can hurt you in your everyday life. So yeah, so I've got things that we can talk about, but I just haven't recycled them.
No, fair enough. And incidentally, episode 24 was Trailer Tales of Woe. We actually really should do that one again because that was a great episode, probably badly recorded. I'll have to listen to it.
Problem is that's basically just let's listen to Mental and Jeff talk about things that they've done poorly with trailers.
And that was before the moon trailer. So, what we know now and what you talked about. Yeah, that's a little things have
actually
changed
that may have been even pre Half Magic Janky ass trailer.
Yeah.
You think?
Think of all the trailer mistakes you've made since then.
Oh, you made so many mistakes.
Maybe we just have to do a sequel, Mental's Trailer Tales of Woe Part 2. Yeah.
It's a nice Halloween episode.
Yes.
Oh well. All right. What do we got? What's next?
What
Best
is best?
guest or a kind of guest or something, for someone that really wants to know what the show is all about. I always will come down on the Eric Rude camp in this because having Eric Rude on, he's just fits right in. He knows what's going on. He's got a great sense of humor. Great guy to talk to. Gives a good feel for the show.
That's 100%. Yes. Chrissy.
I started writing something, but I realized I was answering the wrong question. So I think we haven't had anybody like this on in a while, but having somebody who is getting into racing. So a long time ago, we had Bill on the show and he asked us all his great questions. But since then, we've met a lot of people that are getting into racing. They have appreciated our podcast for learning different things, and we've kind of directed them on different shows on how to set things up on their car. Then they've gone and done it. And I think those kind of people, which I have at least one on top of my head, and I've got a couple, others that we've met along the way, that I think their experiences may be good, especially for finding somebody to understand what our show's about, but also from a different perspective of ours, because we've been doing this a while. So we've got a lot to give, but then it's been a long time since we've been new at this.
That would, one of those teams, maybe they should reach out to us and, say, oh, wow, you guys really helped us out here, here, and here. And you absolutely missed the boat on these things that we should have seen coming. Yeah. Maybe if we've helped you, you should reach out to us and let us know.
And you don't have to send us a 4-page email with 46 questions.
You don't even have to start your own podcast after you're on the show.
Right.
And have like almost double the amount of actual episodes that we have had. So
yeah, and viewers, let's be honest, and listeners.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
I also do believe I love having Eric on there. I love just chatting with Eric because, I think episode 281 we did this year with Jeff Stobbs, the infamous a hot dog riding a Segway episode. I think Jeff Stobbs is one of the underrated people in Lemons, not because people don't like him, but he doesn't come to every race. He does most of the rallies. But when you come to a race and then, and he'll do a lot of the stuff around the Midwest, and he is, because he's very big and kind of like, bowed up a little bit. People tend to underestimate his intelligence, his take on
personality too.
I was going to say he is so loud.
Yes.
So loud.
And he's never, never making anyone feel bad. He'll have all the, when he does the awards for the rallies, he's always, okay, go away, weirdos. That's always just funny. And he's in on the joke. And if you haven't listened to that episode, it'll be linked in our show notes, 281. He's a great person. If you have listened to it and you haven't had a chance to talk to Jeff, do talk to Jeff. Don't do it at a rally because he gets like really busy. But like when, dead time at a race, Autobahn or one of the other ones that he goes and he's working the pits, that guy's got great stories and cool stuff. And he's restoring an old MG and neat dude.
Totally agreed. We've had a lot of time in HPR to sit around and talk to him. So yes. I agree.
Yes. And he does also has the solo series, as he calls it. And it's everybody that gets forgotten about in hot pits while they're waiting for their team to refuel.
All right.
Okay.
I guess speaking of guests, who should we have on the show?
Mental. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. I've been trying for years. I think really she just doesn't like me, which, hurts a little bit, but Sarah Montgomery, you've seen her judge at the Road Atlanta race
there.
She is she's still running an Audi R8 for Shift Up Racing in Haggerty. She does very well. She is the first female to ever podium and win an MX-5. She did that in the same season. And she, a Porsche instructor, she was a Drive Strong teen instructor. So she's out there doing a lot of good, cool stuff for the just for racing. And I think as someone who has just been right there, always, just outside of a giant, huge, star-studded professional career. She's got the chops for it, but so much in racing just comes down to luck. But she's still absolutely busting her backside all the time to make it work. I think she's an interesting person. Clearly, maybe just Chris and Chrissy should be on the show. She'll come on the show if I'm not around, kind of a deal. Yeah.
I haven't asked, so I can do that and see where we get.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree. I second that.
I
And
want to have the guys from Cheese Bowls
Yes.
on to talk about the T-Drive Tempo. That thing is
Or whatever they
spectacular.
want to talk about too,
yeah,
because
they've
they're
also,
amazing.
They've done some other just absolutely insane, because why not, builds.
Yeah, Greg and David, those guys are all fun, and it's just, but hearing the story about the build of the Tempo is, a lot of our listeners have not had the pleasure of hearing the insanity that this thing is, and hearing them tell it is worthwhile.
Yes. Reach out to us. Come on the show, guys. Yes. Totally.
Also, I think they would probably be happy to, but if we just never invited them. I also think we are so alike in our humor that they had a whole unveiling party that literally were the only people that showed up just because they think they're funny. And so I'm pretty sure, did I wear a mayo costume?
Hey, we ate their shrimp.
We did eat their shrimp because nobody else was there to eat them. And so we were the only people to show up, except for the kid that was making a documentary because he got the assignment the day before and said, hey, let me go to this race and then tape some weird people. I wish I saw that. I was in it a lot. Yeah, but I think they're hilarious. They think they're hilarious. And yeah, I think they would have talked to
Our
nobody.
listeners will find you hilarious.
Oh, totally.
Yes.
They would have talked to the empty parking lot if we hadn't showed up, and that would have been okay. So
I feel terrible. I had to go get my stupid electric rental charged. Yeah.
you missed a good time.
I know. I would have been much rather be sitting there eating shrimp.
Okay. We don't have answers to this one, but Mental does. What's the area of improvement that we
Yeah. I don't know. There, like you guys said, there's stuff you want to learn, but it's outside of this. I feel like, and I just put it on here, area of improvement for us is we've had these like last minute topics where, oh God, we've got to map this all out. And then we sit down and it's barely on the Google sheet. And then we just start talking, and it turns out to be some of our better shows. And like the what would you do with $5,000 shopping episode?
They're my favorite.
Yeah. And those, and I enjoy it when we all just kind of get lost in the LARPing world of pretending we're racing drivers.
Oh, or I found the ends of the earth that are awful and that I didn't realize existed and do. So it's not always
the end of the internet.
right. And you're like, and I've ended up with this $200 Land Rover, and I don't really know why I want that. So
Oh, I do.
I know.
Some good stories behind a $200 Land Rover.
Oh yeah, seriously, you could. That just might be the title of my autobiography: $200 Land Rover.
I don't know how much he sold it to you for, but it's probably more than that. I was just thinking of the crappy cars that we found. So not all of them are the $1 million race cars that we also see, especially on racingjunk.com.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I agree. We can always improve. Maybe having some planning, maybe some thought. Maybe that would help us, or not. Why change? Why change now?
Really? Yeah. It's probably fine. All right. All right. This might end up being a short episode, but I see Chris's hand up.
No, I'm sorry. Okay. I was reaching for my water glass.
All right. Fair
sorry.
enough. Hey, and we are actually going to take these prompts. So as this episode gets out there, starts getting published and making its rounds, look in the show notes, look in the social medium that you find this, or just go find us on one of ours. But we're going to post all these questions back up as well. And we welcome your input. One of them, I think also like one of the changes we made for 23 was, stop just reading through the race results. And yeah, we did. So we're open to some change. If you say something like, oh, cover more Toyota MR2s, aside from Rafi's, no, I don't like MR2s. So yeah, Miatas are vastly superior.
Now the MR2 Jihad is going to come after
you. I'm impressed that we've
actually,
gone
I
down
don't
this
mind
road.
I don't mind the Mark 1 and the Mark 2s. I hate the Mark 3s. The much inferior to a Miata MR2 Spider.
Wow. How do you really feel?
Yeah, I know.
Gosh. Okay. Well,
Wow.
fantastic.
He's getting
What
ready.
else do we have? Chrissy, you can come up with something. Like, what did you just write in your safety topic?
Well, okay, so I've got a couple things I can come up with. Yes, on top of my head because
Wait a
I
minute.
do it.
So does that
This
mean
is
Chrissy's
this is-
gonna give us
just
the
it's even better. It's an on the spot, just the tip.
It is an on the spot, just the tip. That's what's happening right now. Okay, so I've got a couple different items of things of importance. So it is getting colder on the West Coast. It is now time to watch. We're driving. We actually had a whole lot of rain on our West Coast or on the East Coast today. It was so really just make sure that you are your tires are good. Make sure that if you still have summers on, that you have handled those, because I'm sure there's at least one person that still has not their winter tires on. So let's make sure that we fix that. Slowing down, make sure your lights are on. Don't be dumb. Don't automatically
Don't
get
be
mad.
dumb. That's a good just the tip.
Don't be dumb, but
be
also
dumb.
don't get mad at the people. It's so easy to get mad at the people that are going reasonable speed. It's one thing if you're going very slow and you have your flashers on. That's uncalled for. But if you are going a normal speed, don't be the ass who's trying to make you go faster. Just wait and be patient a little bit because not everybody's great at driving in the rain. I feel
Or
like
and even
patience
if
is
it's an unreasonable speed to you, that's a valid point.
right.
They're
So
doing their best, man.
and maybe they're not, but I just refrain from yelling at them, I think is what the biggest thing is. But also after you get out of your car that you've made it to your destination, make sure that it might be icy. We had an icy day before I got on my my people that salt my parking lot at work, and it was pretty icy. So just make sure that you're watching out the temperatures. When you get out of the car, you don't necessarily realize it's going to be icy. Just watch where you're putting your feet. Don't be dumb. Wear shoes with tread. Yeah, that's what I got.
So many just the tips.
So many just the
Yeah.
tips. And actually you're also not wrong. It's we're looking at a temperature drop here on the West Coast for the next week, and we have kind of these bomb cyclone style low pressure conditions. So not so much where we are, but in the higher elevations there is going to be rain and snow, and people around here are not good about treaded tires. They're just, because you don't notice until you see steel cables that you have no tread in your tires unless it rains, and then you have no traction.
Right. So just take care of it. Make sure you make an effort. Yeah, there's your just all the tips. All the tips.
On the spot, just the tips.
All the tips.
On the tips.
That's confusing.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Okay. Next week, we will be through Christmas. We might have to report out if we've received anything that was on our list of things that we were looking for Christmas. We'll probably review that. And then we're going to talk about our goals for next year. So we'll talk about what we did, what was our goals for this year, if we actually obtained them, and then what we're going to try for 24.
Yes.
I'm sure it'll be a mixed bag. Usually is.
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
Yeah. And
We're
if
pretty good
you've
at that.
got goals you want to accomplish, gearhead or otherwise, let us know. Share them with us.
There's lots of ways to do it. We'll tell you about it in a second. But thanks for
we?
downloading us. Absolutely. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of F1 Racers. Hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer. Even Jay, our delivery driver. You can do it, buddy. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's nearly free. Just your pride will go away by listening to it. That's about it. That's the cost. But anyway, give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. Even if you hated us, 5 stars, tell us why, how we can improve. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop us a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us, everyone.racers@gmail. Text Mental 484-243-0455. Keep those junk pictures coming. Find us on Instagram, everyone.racers, YouTube and Facebook, Everyone Racers, Reddit /E1R. Do we still have that? Who knows?
We do. We have like maybe 7 or 8 people that
Impressive.
actually interact with us on our Reddit.
Who knew? Well, anyway, thanks again, everybody. Until next week, keep the shiny side up unless it's a $200 Land Rover, and then just keep the wheels down.
Send it.
Not shiny.
Ah.